Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling something lots of people want, improving your English.
Yeah, it's a common goal, isn't it?
Definitely. We looked at a discussion from the English Daily Building Your Routine podcast, and our mission really is to pull out a simple plan, something actionable.
Right, something you can actually do even if
Yeah.
you're busy.
Exactly. Because we know consistency is, well, tough sometimes. So we want steps that fit in, lead to real progress, and don't feel like, a massive burden.
It's about moving from just wanting it to actually building habits, concrete things. So, where do they suggest starting morning?
Yeah, let's start there. The English Daily folks talked about the morning routine. What was their idea to kick things off?
They recommended just 10 minutes focused vocabulary practice right at the start of the day,
10 minutes. Okay.
like warming up your brain. They mentioned apps, Duolingo, Anki, things like that.
Those apps.
And what's interesting is how they work, using things like spaced repetition.
Spaced repetition. Explain that a bit.
Well, it means the app shows you words again just before you're likely to forget them at increasing intervals. So it's not just memorizing, it's like embedding it in your long-term memory.
Okay, so it helps the words actually stick. That makes sense. 10 minutes. Sounds pretty manageable. What about later in the day? Lunchtime.
Yeah, for the lunch break, the idea was to bring in some listening, short English podcasts or videos.
Oh, okay. So passive learning.
Kind of, yeah. You're absorbing the natural flow, the rhythm, different accents maybe while you're eating or just taking a break. It helps train your ear without feeling like intense study.
Right. Getting used to how people actually speak.
Yeah.
What sort of content works best for that?
Well, really anything you find interesting, short news clips, quick educational bits, maybe even fun vlogs. If you're engaged, you'll pick things up more naturally. Consistent exposure is the goal.
Got it. So morning vocab, check. Lunchtime listening, check. How about winding down in the evening?
Evening routine, yeah. They suggested reading maybe a short news article or just a couple of pages from a book in English.
Okay, reading. Makes sense.
But, and this is important, they really emphasize writing a quick summary afterwards.
A summary. Why that extra step? What does that do?
Well, writing it down forces you to, actively process what you just read. You can't just skim. You have to pull out the main ideas, put them in your own words.
So you're using the language yourself.
Exactly. You grapple with the vocabulary, the sentence structure. It's that active recall thing again. It really solidifies understanding and helps your writing, too. It's not passive.
That really clicks. So building words, tuning the ear, reading, and then actively writing. Is there anything else? What about actually, speaking?
Absolutely. That's often the biggest hurdle, isn't it? They stressed how important speaking practice is, even if it's just talking to yourself in English.
Talking to yourself. Does that really work? Seems a bit odd, maybe.
It really does. It's about getting your mouth and brain used to forming English sentences out loud. You practice pronunciation, fluency, without the pressure of someone listening.
Okay, less intimidating.
Yeah. You spot where you hesitate or search for words. It builds confidence and that sort of muscle memory for speaking.
Right. So we've got this daily cycle, morning words, lunchtime listening, evening read and summarize, plus speaking practice woven in.
Yeah.
What's the big takeaway from all this? The core message?
I think the key thing from that English Daily discussion is consistency beats intensity. Every time.
Yeah.
Meaning that doing these small bits, maybe 30 minutes total, broken up through your day consistently, that's going to give you much better results long term than, say, trying to cram for hours once a week.
Right. It's not about huge, overwhelming sessions. It's the drip, drip, drip.
Precisely. It's the small, regular efforts adding up over time. That compound effect.
Making it a sustainable habit, not a sprint.
Exactly. Like planting little seeds every day. Eventually things start to grow.
This has been really useful, breaking down how to build that routine. So for you listening right now, maybe think about this. How can these small daily efforts add up for your English goals? What's just one tiny step you could try adding to your day, maybe starting today? Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.